Viajar de volta pra aquele lugar que um dia chamamos de lar, pra ver se a gente consegue lembrar do porquê escolhemos ficar. Fica, que eu lembrei que vim pra cuidar do seu coração, que faz bater mais forte o meu. Fica, com esse amor eu curo o mundo todo.
Hey guys, how are you doing? My name is PRIS Elias, and today I'll share the process of me filming my own music video and how I did it. That's right, for the ones of you who do not know, I'm a musician also, and I have a pop music project in Portuguese since I'm from Brazil, and I only moved to Europe about 3 years ago. Until then, PRIS Elias, my pop music project, for which I will leave the link up here in case you want to know more about, was my actual full-time job, and photography was just a hobby for me. I had this song I recorded in 2017, and since I moved to Europe, I decided to hold the release, and recently I had this idea of me actually going further. I decided to challenge myself into something I had never done before, filming my own music video by myself. Stick up to the end of this video because I will show you how this is possible and how you can do it also. For a long time I've been a self-taught person, but it was not until I moved from Brazil to Sweden that I really immersed into that self-learning process completely. It was not until I came to Europe, and especially to Sweden, that I understood I could do anything I wanted, even if I knew nothing about how to do that. The reason for that is because I have the feeling from the little time I've been here that most Swedes, they're just like that. They kind of know how to do everything and they do it themselves. And if they don't know how to do something, they will learn it. It's just a self-doer society, and not only it surprised me, it also inspired me to want to learn more and more and be better and better in not only one but in many things. That's how I learned so much more about photography, and that's why I forced myself to improve day after day. That's how I got into YouTube and learned how to film for vlogging, and no differently, that is how I decided to go further and film my own music video. From the things I mainly learned from studying cinematography on YouTube. And of course, I decided to share this with you. I know that to make a good video on my own, it would not be that easy. It would take me quite some effort and creativity, but it is possible, and I'll show you how. The first big deal to make a nice video is to come up with the nice concept. Are you telling a story? Are you just sharing beautiful images that have something to do with your message? What's the main thing in your video? If you're shooting a music video on your own, the first good tip I have for you is go for the simple ideas. Going too crazy might make it hard for you to direct and be on the video at the same time. So think about it right from the start. Keep in mind you'll have to be in front and behind the camera the whole time, or at least most of the time in most cases. My song is named FICA, and it is about a person who loves another and asks them to stay. It refers to playful elements such as waterfall with soap bubbles, cotton clouds, and since we were in the middle of the pandemic when I had this idea of recording the video, I thought I'd use the stay at home along with the stay with me from the music as an idea. And along with that, I thought I'd create a playful scene. That leads us to step number 2, which is: where are you going to shoot your video? As the idea was to shoot the video myself, I really wanted to shoot this at home, and the stay at home would help me to confirm the concept. So great. Depending on the size of your video though, having a unique location might end up being pretty boring after a while. That's why step number 3 is also very important. My song is almost 4 minutes long, so I had to think of something that would give it versatility, motion, and something that would keep my audience connected to it to the end. For that reason, I decided to set 3 different scenes in my house. 2 of them would be in my bedroom, but with 2 completely different moods. As part of the story, I would have myself talking to my mom via FaceTime during the pandemic, and in a first moment, we would be sad and bored, and to help showing that, I decided to have a messy room. That way I would be able to give it that I'm a mess feeling to the viewer. The second scene would be a playful bedroom. It would be a second moment of the video where I would be talking to my mom again, but this time we would be happy and hopeful of better times ahead of us. So I thought I could have my bedroom clean and play with some colorful lights around to make it kind of magical and fairy, which would bring this light and hopeful feeling to it. And the last scene would be shot in my living room, where I had a big white wall and where I could set some cotton clouds I produced with the help of my husband, so I would have some more playful elements that matched the playful lyrics of the song. Oh, and by the way, if you want to read the translated words for the song, I will leave it down here in the description, or you can just turn the closed caption on when you're watching the video. The next step is set your references. And the truth is, at least to me, all steps 1 to 4, the idea, the location, the setting, the scenes, and the references, they kind of come together, you know? They do not always come in this exact order. This is the first time I shoot a music video alone, but I've been part of the pre-production of many other music videos in my life, and steps 1 to 4 not always come in this order. Sometimes I think of the references first, other times I think of a place where I'd like to shoot first, or sometimes I just have a cool idea or concept and start from there. It really depends, so don't get caught on the exact order. Allow the ideas to come as they show, and just have in mind you will need all those 4 steps thought of before you think of actually shooting the video. For this video, I had this reference that I wanted to use for the playful bedroom with the lights. So I got to Amazon and bought many of these cups. I bought pink and blue lights. I used my Golvi strip light to light the back of my bed, and boom, scene set. For the messy room, I had in mind a photo of Courtney Love I had seen a long time ago, and I went for it to get me started. I know if I wanted to make mine closer to this, I would have to get my room a lot messy and dirty, but I didn't need that much. It was just an idea to guide me, and I could use that just as a reference for my version of it. And for the cotton cloud scene in the living room, I found this YouTube video where I learned how to do cotton clouds myself. I bought the material along with the rest of the things I just told you on Amazon and produced them. I also had this scene with an umbrella full of lights that I wanted to try out in the living room set. This reference photo is from a photographer I admire very much, Brandon Wolfel, and so I also bought a transparent umbrella and some yellow fairy lights to stick to the interior of the umbrella. After you get all these first 4 steps figured out, the concept, the location, the references, and the scenes in whatever order works best for you, then it's time for the script. It's time to break the idea into pieces in order to make it tangible. If you're telling a story, it's time to write that down in images. What exact images will you have in order to show what you have in mind? How are you going to shoot them? Close-ups, wide open shots, really shallow depth of field or not, from above, from the side? Are you having detail shots? What shots do you need in 60 frames per second, and what shots do you need in 120 frames per second so you can make some slow motion shots? Break it down with as many details as possible. That way you will know exactly what you will need, and as you will be in front of the camera as well, it will be easier not to forget anything on the day of the shoot. And of course, maybe you don't have all these answers at first. Maybe you will need to make some tests first. But write what you have in mind with as many details as possible, and later you can just improve that after making some scene tests, and we'll get there. But first, we will go to step number 6, which is thinking of the elements of the scenes. What will you have in your scenes that are essential to tell your story or that you really want there? Think about that, because you might need to buy some things at this stage. In my case, for my ideas, I would need to buy different kinds of lights, the cups to put the lights in, everything I needed to produce the cotton cloud, and a transparent umbrella. I spent 150 euros to buy all of the elements for this video. So if you think that, at least in Brazil, recording a music video would cost me at least 20 times this cost, to me it was a pretty good deal. Another important thing to think about is makeup, hair, and clothing. This step doesn't have to be at this exact order either, but it is important to be thought of. You could have thought about this in the beginning along with the ideas for the references, but I prefer to leave it as one of the last steps because I wasn't sure of the colors I would use for my lights yet, and that could make a difference on the color of the outfit I would choose. It is important to have this sorted out before the day though. What colors and what kind of clothing, makeup, and hair works with the mood of your video. If you're home, in your bed, sad, you're not going to dress like if you were going to a party. You won't have a heavy makeup either. At least you shouldn't, as I truly believe that when it comes to clothing, makeup, and hair for videos, thinking of the general concept to decide them is the way to go. For that reason, since I was just staying at home for my video, I needed something that reinforced that idea. So I needed casual clothes, casual makeup, and not much to the hair either. With all of the elements in hand, it's time for the pre-production. If you won't produce any scenic elements, great, one less step for you. But if you are, it's time to work. In my case, it took me an afternoon to get this all produced and set. The cotton clouds, the cups with the lights, and the umbrella. Do whatever you need to do, because after you have it all in hand, we will go to step number 9. This is one of the last steps in the pre-production of a music video process. Once you've got it all figured out, it's time to place it all in the scene and see how it looks in practice. I think this step is essential for you to have a real idea of what you have in hand. Angles, elements, different lenses, equipment, light. This is when you see if anything is missing. This is where all can go wrong, and when you still have time and sanity to fix them. Because believe me, it is crazy enough recording a video with a team. If you're shooting by yourself and you want to do something good, you will have a lot of things in mind on the day of the shoot. So making this test is great to avoid late surprises and to save you time at the day of the shoot. In my case, for example, I bought the wrong batteries for the lights. Not a big deal, huh? But what if that happened at the day of the shoot? That would be an hour wasted going after some batteries. And believe me, you will need that extra energy to do your best both behind and in front of the camera. So you will hope you won't need to go after scene elements you could have taken care of before on the day of the shoot. Also for the test, I took about 1 or 2 hours testing different lenses, aperture, angles, and positioning things in different orders in my bed. I also was not sure if I was going to use both the blue and the pink light inside of the cups, or if I'd only use the pink ones. So I tried both of them. I took some shots of the scenes when I was happy with it, and at the day of the shoot, I just looked at the photos I took from the test and placed everything exactly where they should be. It saved me so much time and effort. Then I could really focus on what really mattered. That was the execution. Okay, we've got all the pre-production done. Now it's time for the real hard work. Time to shoot. I separated my music video shooting in 3 different days, as I had 3 different scenes. And as I was going to film it by myself, I wanted to make sure I had everything right, and I didn't want to rush through the process, so that would give me enough time to settle everything up and to work each of the scenes carefully. The shooting ran out just smoothly. No big surprises, everything according to what I had planned. The equipment and scene tests I had done before in fact saved me a lot of work, and I could mainly focus on just following the list of scenes I had down on my script. I also followed the photos I had taken on the day of the test shots to find the good angles. And of course that, in the end, I had some extra ideas and ended up doing some extra shots of different things in different angles. But having the main things down really helped me not to forget anything or to stress about having to remember it all, maybe forgetting something, you know? To be able to shoot myself and make sure I had the focus right and that I had everything in the right place, I used my cell phone as a monitor. And yeah, I know this was not ideal. I wanted to actually use a monitor, but for some reason my cable did not work on the day of the shoot, so this was the way I could work it out. Since I had the facial tracking on and my face would show in most of the scenes, using my cell phone as a monitor wasn't a big of a problem. But if you have a chance to monitor it with a bigger screen, you'll definitely play safer. Done! After all of this, it's time to edit. This was the part of the process I most struggled with. I had never edited a music video before, and I had to deal with something like 30 to 35 takes at the same time. After I learned how to use angles in Final Cut Pro though, it became pretty easy to make the cuts. I just synced the original audio with the audio played during the recordings, and I could just watch all of the scenes being played at the same time on Final Cut Pro Viewer. Then I could just easily select the scenes I wanted and place them exactly where I wanted the cuts to happen. An important tip for you who is still here with me: I really recommend you record several takes of the entire song and that the audio from your camera is actually working. Make sure you're capturing the real audio from the studio. That way your editor will be able to sync the original audio with the audio being played on your videos, and you will have several angles and versions of the entire song to choose from. I learned this the hardest way. Better to have more than less. Many times I missed 2, 3, or 4 scenes for the final video because I had not recorded the entire song several times. Instead, I had recorded just pieces of it. If you record just pieces of the song instead of the entire song, you will have much more work to sync everything, and you might end up missing something. Plus, another great tip is always make some B-roll that can be used anywhere in your video. Details from the shots, you know? In my case, I did B-rolls of the photographs, of the computer, of the lights, of me playing the guitar, of me looking to the photos, of me playing around, of me talking to my mom, of me bored looking to the ceiling, and so on. If you have those scenes that can be used anywhere on the video, they might save you in case you don't have something good that fits the lyrics in a specific place where you don't like any of the initial scenes. I'm not going into further details of the editing process of the video because this video would just get too long, and the editing process is not exactly a topic about how to shoot your own music video. If you would like me to go further into details about how I edited my music video though, please drop me a comment below. Maybe I can do a whole video only talking about that in detail. Now I'll leave you with the whole video, and please, if you like this video and if it helps you somehow, please also help me out by subscribing to my channel and hitting the like button. I would really appreciate that. Let's go! Oi, mãe.
Oi, filha, tudo bem?
Tudo bem, e você?
Tô indo. Tô me sentindo muito sozinha, vocês longe. Vocês fazem muita falta.
Viajar de volta pra aquele lugar que um dia chamamos de lar, pra ver se a gente consegue lembrar do porquê escolhemos ficar. Fica, que eu lembrei que vim pra cuidar do seu coração, que faz bater mais forte o meu. Fica, com esse amor eu curo o mundo todo. Fica, o seu amor é o meu guia na escuridão, em um mundo que busca um pouco de gratidão. E através de você eu curo tudo. Aqui, tentando te fazer sorrir. Nessa bagunça eu senti que já sei o que vou criar. Pra mim, só resta agora ser feliz, sem esperar o que há por vir, sem depender de condição. Quero que você sinta o que sinto por você quando eu olho para o céu e vejo nuvens de algodão, quando imagino a gente numa cachoeira de bolinha de sabão. Quero com você ir para o espaço, viajar de volta pra aquele lugar que um dia chamamos de lar, pra ver se a gente consegue lembrar do porquê escolhemos ficar.